To the west of Azure, beyond storm-filled seas, rise the Crimson Highlands, a land of towering mountains, icy fjords, volcanic valleys, and endless pine forests. Winter lasts for most of the year. The people who live there are known as the Highlanders. Their ancestors were saved by the original Ruby Warrior, and over centuries they built their society around the virtues he embodied: strength, courage, loyalty, and sacrifice. Their villages are built from thick timber and dark stone. Massive longhouses stand at the heart of every settlement, where entire clans gather around roaring fires to feast, tell stories, and sing songs of ancient heroes. Children begin learning to fight from an early age, not because they seek war, but because every Highlander is expected to defend their family and homeland. They travel the seas in beautifully carved longships with crimson sails, exploring distant lands and trading furs, iron, amber, and expertly forged weapons. Unlike raiders of legend, they value honor above conquest. To steal from the weak is considered shameful. To protect strangers is a mark of true greatness. The greatest warriors earn titles through acts of bravery rather than birth. At the center of the Highlands stands the Hall of Embers, where the ruby axe rests inside a pillar of volcanic crystal. For 2,000 years, the descendants of the Ruby Warrior ruled the Crimson Highlands. Unlike other kingdoms, the Highlanders did not follow kings. They followed the High Chieftain, chosen not only by blood, but by honor. Every High Chieftain was expected to embody the four virtues of the first Ruby Warrior: courage, strength, honor, sacrifice. The ruby axe was passed from one generation to the next, but only to the heir the High Chieftain believed worthy. Not always the eldest. High Chieftain Eric, the current ruler of the Crimson Highlands, was High Chieftain Eric. He was respected across every clan. During his lifetime, he united rival clans that had fought for generations and brought peace without weakening the Highlands. He had two sons: Bjorn, the firstborn, a giant of a man, one of the greatest warriors the Highlands had ever produced. He had never lost a duel, never fled a battle, never shown fear. Everyone believed he would inherit the ruby axe, including Bjorn himself. But Bjorn had one flaw: his temper. He acted before thinking. He believed strength alone solved every problem. To him, mercy often looked like weakness. Leif. Leif was different. Not quite as powerful as Bjorn, not quite as famous, but he possessed something few warriors ever earned: the trust of the people. He listened before speaking. He settled disputes fairly. He trained alongside ordinary villagers instead of separating himself from them. Children admired him. Elders sought his advice. Even defeated opponents respected him. He believed a leader's greatest strength was protecting others, not proving his own. The final decision. When High Chieftain Eric grew old, sickness finally overcame him. Knowing his time was short, he summoned every clan leader to the Hall of Embers. The ruby axe rested beside his bed. The entire Highlands expected him to pass it to Bjorn. Instead, he called for Leif. Silence filled the hall. Even the fire seemed to stop crackling. Eric placed his trembling hand upon the ruby axe. "My son, the Ruby Warrior was never remembered because he was the strongest. He is remembered because he was willing to lay down his life for others." He looked first to Bjorn. "You have my strength." Then to Leif. "You have my heart." With his final breath, he declared, "Leif, you are my heir." The ruby axe burst into crimson flame. Its celestial gem awakened. For the first time in generations, it had chosen its wielder. High Chieftain Eric smiled. Then he closed his eyes forever. A kingdom divided. The clans obeyed Eric's final wish. Leif became the new High Chieftain. Most accepted the decision. Some did not. Many warriors quietly believed Bjorn should have inherited the axe simply because he was the eldest and the strongest fighter. Bjorn accepted his father's decision in public. He knelt before his younger brother and swore loyalty before the clans. But behind his calm expression, his heart burned with disappointment. He loved Leif. Yet every time he looked at the ruby axe, he wondered, should that have been mine? Leif sensed his brother's pain, but never spoke of it. He knew the wound was too deep. The brothers. Despite the tension, the brothers still fought side by side whenever danger threatened the Highlands. Bjorn wielded a massive two-handed sword called Stormcleaver, charging fearlessly into battle. Leif carried the legendary ruby axe, its crimson light blazing whenever he defended his people. Together, they were nearly unstoppable. The people would often say, Bjorn is the Highlands' strength, but Leaf is its soul.